Welcome back to our deep dive. So the market's been on a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't it? Worst week in 5 years, then boom, best week in three. Almost a 6% gain.
Absolutely wild swings, and you hear it everywhere on Wall Street now. Buy, buy, buy.
Hmm,
It can be pretty overwhelming.
exactly. So today we want to help you, the learner, cut through some of that noise. We're digging into which stocks analysts actually agree on, looking beyond those, sometimes overly rosy price targets.
That's the plan. We're using a recent piece from The Smart Investor as our guide. It basically asks, where's the consensus? Which stocks are analysts massively recommending together?
Right, focusing on that collective wisdom or at least collective opinion. So this consensus approach, why is it maybe more useful than just looking at individual price predictions?
Well, individual targets can be all over the place, often quite optimistic, like you said. But when you see a high percentage of analysts, lots of different experts all saying buy on the same stock or sector, that carries a bit more weight, doesn't it? It shows broader agreement.
Okay, that makes sense. So where is this broad agreement pointing right now? Which sectors are getting the most love?
The big ones seem to be technology, energy, and communication services. We're talking over 60% buy recommendations across the board for those.
Wow, over 60%. Any idea why such strong feeling there? Is it the whole NVIDIA effect spilling over?
That's likely part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That huge rebound we saw was definitely powered by tech giants.
Yeah.
And NVIDIA, with its AI chip dominance, is a big factor. So lots of enthusiasm there.
And on the other end, where's the caution?
More hesitation around consumer staples and utilities. They're setting below 50% buy recommendations. The thinking might be, maybe they're a bit overvalued currently, or perhaps the growth potential just isn't seen as that exciting compared to tech.
What about healthcare? Usually seen as pretty steady.
Still looking pretty solid, actually. Despite a small dip maybe, it's holding at 58% buy ratings. United Health Group UNH gets a mention. Big player in Medicare Advantage plans, and they're forecasting, 13% sales growth? So still attractive.
Okay, so the article lists a top 10 most recommended stocks. Can you give us a couple of concrete examples that really show this consensus?
Sure. We mentioned United Health. Microsoft, MSFT is another one, seen as having a reasonable valuation even with all the tech volatility.
Interesting.
And then you have names like Amazon, AMZN, and NVIDIA, NVDA, which, despite recent dips, are seen as having good potential to bounce back. Analysts seem to like their long-term growth stories.
So those are the favorites. Does the article also highlight any stocks analysts are warning people away from, any strong sell signals?
It does mention a couple. Paramount Global, PRA, for instance, seems they're really struggling in the streaming wars against the giants like Netflix and Amazon.
Right, tough market.
And Southwest Airlines, LUV. Losing that free check bags advantage seems to be hurting their competitive edge, according to some analysts.
Okay, good to know the flip side, too. Anything specific investors might want to keep an eye on, say, this week?
Well, Ally Financial, ALY, pops up. It's considered potentially undervalued. And the fact that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway holds a pretty chunky stake, like 9.5%, adds a layer of interest there.
Buffett's involvement always turns heads. Anyone else?
Netflix, NFLX, is mentioned too, but with a note of caution. Despite strong overall performance, apparently its Q1 results historically tend to be a bit weaker. So maybe something to watch.
Interesting timing point. The article also brought up cybersecurity, right? Why flag that specifically?
Yeah, that felt like a key theme. With cyber attacks getting more frequent and, frankly, more sophisticated, cybersecurity isn't just important, it's critical for almost everyone. Businesses, governments.
Makes sense. It's constantly in the news.
Exactly. So companies in that space are seen as having really significant growth potential over the next decade. It's shaping up to be a major investment theme.
So wrapping this up then, the analyst consensus is a valuable tool, gives us a good sense of market sentiment, but it's not the whole picture.
Absolutely not. It's a starting point, a great way to identify areas for your own research. But you absolutely have to do your homework before making any investment decisions. Don't just follow the crowd blindly.
Sound advice. So a final thought for you, the learner, to ponder. Given the strong analyst agreement in areas like tech and this rising theme of cybersecurity, what specific niche or company within those broad areas might be worth your own deeper investigation first? Thanks for diving deep with us today.